got it. So we will recap. I'll recap very quickly chapter number 11 up till where we are, and then we'll build on from that. So what is happening here is Maitreya Muni, after telling Vidura about the creation of Brahma, and after telling what Brahma recreated, is now telling about time. And time is always, we measure based on the distance. So Maitreya Muni started with distance by saying that the smallest particle possible in terms of Vedic measurement is the Parma Anu, which is the atomic article, and the biggest possible, everything put together, the whole universal creation, you put all the creations together, they become Parma Mahan. So Parma Anu and Parma Mahan, biggest and smallest and biggest. Then when we are measuring time, he said Parma Anu is the smallest measurable time according to Vedic literatures. So that is Parma Anu. Then you put two Parma Anus together, it becomes Anu. And then when you put six Parma Anus together, it becomes one Trasharenu. And one Trasharenu is the smallest particle that is visible to the naked eyes. That too with the assistance of the sun rays coming through the window. So when you see the window, when you see the sun coming through the window, you see all those dust particles floating in the air. That is Trasharenu, means three atoms put together is what is visible. So that is Trasharenu. So remember these three at least for the purpose of the recap, for the purpose of the fun quiz. Parmanu, then Anu, and then Trasharenu. One Parmanu, then two Parmanus to put together becomes one Anu. Six Parmanus put together becomes one Trasharenu, and one Trasharenu is the smallest visible atomic particle to the naked eyes. Then we develop more, into going into, then they are muhurtas, they are nadiyas and all those things. We don't have to know all those things, but in modern science, mathematics, we know that it will be, seconds, then minutes, then hours, then days, then fortnights, then the weeks, and then fortnights, then months, then seasons, then 1 year. 12 months in a year, or 6 seasons in a year. Nice haircut, Pratham. You look different today. So 12 months in a year, or six seasons in a year. And 1 year can be divided again by 2, which is called Ayana. One is Dakshinayana, one is Uttarayana. The northern, when the sun passes to the north, and the one the sun passes to the south. So this is 1 year. We have come into 1 year. Then Vidura asked Maitreya Muni a question to tell me, what about the life cycle of those who live on the higher planetary systems, above the earthly planetary system? Now, to explain the life, including life of Brahma, to explain the life duration of Brahma, Maitreya Muni tells Vidura about how 1 year becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. So what did he say? That when you put 432,000 human being years, which is our earthly years, 432,000 years put together becomes one Kali Yuga. Now 864,000 years put together becomes one Dwapar Yuga. And 1,296,000 years put together becomes
one Treta Yuga.
Very good. One Treta Yuga. And then 1,728, is it?
Yeah, 1,728,000.
1,728,000, which is 1.7 million years put together becomes one Satya Yuga. And when you put one Kali Yuga, one Treta Yuga, one Kali Yuga, one Kali Yuga, one Dwapar Yuga, one Treta Yuga, and one Satya Yuga put together becomes 4.3. One Chatur Yuga. Very good, very good. One Chatur means 4. So you put 4 together becomes one Chatur Yuga. And one Chatur Yuga is equal to 4.3 million of our years. How many years do we live for? You guys are generally teenagers now, or maybe even smaller than 10 years. We can live for 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 years maximum. This is 4.3 million years. Put together becomes one Chatur Yuga. And Brahma's one day, and I'll ask this you in the quiz because I will spend 3 weeks explaining to you this maths, and I will answer it. So the boys have already got a point, but what if the girls get the point? Anusha has also got it, so fair enough. Both of you will be able to answer, and I think all of you also know it by now. So 4.3 million years multiplied by 1,000 again is equal to 1 day of Brahma. And 4.3 million years multiplied by 1,000 is equal to 1 night of Brahma as well. So Brahma's 1 day and 1 night is equal to 4.3 million years multiplied by 1000 multiplied by 2. That is Brahma's 1 day and Brahma's 1 night.
So Prabhuji,
Yes.
When Brahma, so you know how you said that when it's the night of Brahma, the world ends.
We'll come to that today. We'll come to that today. That's exactly what Maitreya Muni will answer today.
So how does like so
Mhm.
if the world ends when it's Brahma's night, does it mean that Brahma only lives for 1 day and night?
Let's figure it out, because Maitreya Muni will answer you that question in the next 10 verses. Yeah. Once we understand Brahma's 1 day, where this question is good, what happens at Brahma's night and what happens at Brahma's second day? That's probably another question, right? What happens at Brahma's second night? And for that matters, what happens for his 100 years? We'll find out the answer very soon. I know it, but let Maitreya Muni answer it. Okay. So what is happening now is that we have reached Brahma's 1 day, which is 4.3 million years, or in other words, 1 Chaturyuga multiplied by 1000. Okay. Now, new things. Brahma's 1 day is called what? Who knows what is the Sanskrit terminology for Brahma's 1 day? Tanvik. Sanskrit word for Brahma's 1 day.
I forgot.
You forgot? Anybody who knows? You've heard this word, you know this, but and maybe we have not learned here, but elsewhere you may have. Huh?
Kalpa.
Who said Kalpa?
Anand.
Yeah. So Brahma's 1 day is called a Kalpa. No? So Brahma lives for 1 Kalpa multiplied by 365. That will be 1 year multiplied by 100. That is Brahma's lifespan. Yeah. So Brahma's 1 day is 1 Kalpa. What is Brahma's 1 night called? I don't know, to be honest. Is Brahma's 1 day and 1 night? So these are the 3 options. Is Brahma's 1 day and 1 night together called Kalpa? Or is Brahma's 1 day only called Kalpa and the night has got another name? I don't know. It's a question that I don't know the answer to. We can ask Gaurang Darshan Prabhu when he's here. But anyway, it doesn't matter. For now
I think it was 1 day is called Kalpa, and then 1 night is also called Kalpa, but like it's not together called Kalpa.
Yeah, I think Anna is right, but I'm not 100% sure. And it
Prabhuji,
doesn't
Brahma,
in the night so much.
each day of Brahma is called Kalpa.
But what about when you say day, do you include the
And
night or not? Why they?
his night also constitutes of 4.32 billion human years.
Yeah, true. But what is it called is the question, right?
I don't think
No,
it's called anything.
yeah, I think, yeah, that's why I'm saying as well. I don't know. The name was not given. Maybe it's called Kalpa. I don't know. Doesn't matter. No. So we have reached where we have reached now. We have reached Brahma's day and Brahma's night. One Kalpa. Let's read from here now. Let's read.
I have a question.
Yes.
Why does Brahma sleep for so much time?
Just as because we also sleep for 12 hours. It's not so much time. We are awake loosely. We are awake for 12 hours and we are sleeping for 12 hours. So Brahma also does the same thing. It's just that his hours are much more different from us. That's all. But still 12 and 12.
So then the Brahma's one. So in Brahma's day, life form exists in the whole entire creation, but in Brahma's night, no life form exists.
Not really. You are 80% correct. But that's the point we will be discussing today. You are asking your question very in a very different way, which is really good because you are eager to get the answer. I like it when somebody is enthusiastic and you're trying to trick me to answer you. But it's a very, very two wonderful questions. And I really, really enjoy when you ask questions like that. But I'm still not going to answer you. Let Maitreya Muni answer in a minute. But you are 80% correct, Vedi, don't it?
Prabhuji, I tried to do the calculation. Is Brahma's life equal to 313.9 trillion years?
Maybe I can't remember. No, I don't know. I really don't know. Like I don't try to you guys are much more capacity to remember things than me. So I don't remember his exact life, but I know the calculation because with the calculation I can explain to somebody how long he lives. But the exact number I don't know. You may or may not be right. But Prabhupada writes in his Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam sometimes those numbers. So you can do a calc. I don't know the answer on it. Rudransh, your hand is up.
Prabhuji, one time I learned that a human's complete sleep goes up to 10 hours.
Human sleep goes up to 10 hours. That is a lot of sleeping, mate. Oh, I can barely afford 7 hours. If I generally I need 6 and
That's true.
Generally, 6.5 hours to 7 hours is what I can afford. Anything more than that, my chanting is affected. No?
Some people sleep for 13 hours.
Oh yeah, some people say, yeah. As teenagers, you can sleep more because the body is growing, there's hormonal changes and all that. But as we grow adult, Prabhupada said 6 to 7 hours of sleep is enough for adults. And as-
Prabhuji, so I heard something in a video say that well, when you're growing bigger and bigger, you get the less time to sleep.
Yeah, oh, you get much more busy, mate, especially when you have nice children like you who wake you up to play with. If you don't want to wake up, the children will wake you up. And especially when you have babies, mommy, milk. Yeah. So you wake up your parents, can't sleep. Oh, mommy, I'm hungry. Hungry. I'm hungry and I'm angry is what? I'm hangry.
Hungry.
So, when you are hangry, you wake up your parents, especially your mom.
Babies eat 4 meals: breakfast, brunch, lunch, and dinner.
Don't worry, all devotees eat 4 meals.
Even Lana, if that's a
Yes.
thing.
Yeah, we all eat 6 meals now.
I eat two. I eat two.
Oh, you are a yogi. If you eat 1 meal, you are called a yogi.
Brahmachari.
Yogi. If you eat 2 meals, you are called a bhogi. If you eat 3 meals, you are called a rogi. Oh, I think I got the maths wrong, but
I'm a
something like that.
bhogi.
So there's a rogi, there's a
bhogi.
there's a rogi, there's a yogi, there's a bhogi, and then there's a rogi. Rogi means disease. Bhogi means enjoyment. Yogi means sacrifice and penance. Yeah. Like that.
Bhogi.
So who are you? You are bhogi or rogi or jogi?
Bhogi.
I'm bhogi.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
sometimes
Let's
bhogi,
let's
sometimes
okay.
rogi.
Let's finish Bhagavatam. Let's finish Bhagavatam. Text number 28. And again, I'll just repeat. Don't put your virtual hand up, please. Don't put your virtual hands up.
Can I read?
Hang on, 1 second. I'll give chance to everybody. But if you don't put your virtual hand up, then your videos don't move. So don't remember this, right? Don't move your virtual hand. Just raise your hand. But for reading, I will just go in the order I can see on my screen. So everybody gets a chance.
Prabhuji.
Yes.
Prabhuji, so that means if Brahma, so for us, Brahma sleeps for more time than us. For us. If we look at Brahma, so he would sleep more than us.
You can say the other way as well. Now, how many days does Yatin? How many days do you think an ant lives? A cheetah. How many days does she live?
10.
Huh?
Otherwise, what if someone steps on it?
Yeah, let's say average. Let's say a week. Yeah, on average. I could be wrong, but let's say a week an ant lives. So who sleeps more, the ant or us?
Us.
Yeah, us. But the ant also sleeps relatively, same as us. Percentage wise.
The quality, so it's like, so the quality is same. We both are sleeping, but the quantity is different. We are sleeping more than the ant.
But also in terms of quantity,
Prabhuji.
hang on 1 second, 1 second. Also in terms of quantity, there is two things, which is advanced math, but it's called relative and absolute. So in absolute sense, we sleep more than the ant. But in relative terms, the sleeping is the same because the ant sleeps its, let's say 50% of the day. We sleep the 50% of the day. Brahma also sleeps for the 50% of the day. So relative terms, it's all 50, 50, 50%. But in absolute terms, it is much more different. So quantity can be measured in absolute and relativity.
So when we are comparing ourselves and with Krishna, so will it be the absolute or relative?
We can't compare with Krishna because Krishna's sleeping is spiritual. No, material and spiritual are incompatible. It cannot be compared. Yatin, who sleeps more, you or your dad?
Me.
Yeah, see, but again, it's roughly 50-50, right? Because, so it's about the same because everybody sleeps in the night, everybody is awake in the day, regardless of the age, regardless of the species, regardless of Brahma. I mean, of course, there's some species who are awake at night and sleep in the day. Yeah, like the owls and all that. Yeah. Okay, let's read 28. Ronit.
Who's reading?
Ronit, and then Yatin,
Yeah.
and then Vedai. Ronit, text number 28.
At the end of the day, under the insignificant portion of the mode of darkness, the powerful manifestation of the universe merges in the darkness of the night. By the influence of eternal time, the innumerable living entities remain merged in that dissolution, and everything is silent.
So this is starting to answer Vedai's question. At the end of the day, matlab in the night. At the end of the day means now beginning of the night. the insignificant portion of the board of darkness, the powerful manifestation of the universe, all the universes that have been created, merges in the darkness of night by the influence of eternal time. We are talking about time. The innumerable living entities, which is the jiva, remain merged in the one second, remains merged into the dissolution. Everything is silent. So what is Maitreya Muni says before we take Vedya's question is that when Brahma's night falls, everything is turned off, and all the jivas and everything else merges into something. What does it merges into? We'll find out very soon, but it merges into something. Yes, Vedai?
Prabhuji, I've got two questions. So,
Yes.
my first question.
Yeah, on top of your already two questions which I haven't answered. Keep
Yeah,
going. Yes.
yeah.
You are like Vidura. Multiple questions and testing me how many I can remember.
No.
Yes.
So, which canto are we in?
We are on Okay, this was a simple question. Thank God.
Yeah.
Phew, I survived. Canto 3, chapter number 11, text number 28. Anybody unclear?
Prabhuji, I have a question.
1 second. 3.11.28. Yes, Yatin. Oh, sorry, whether you had two questions.
Yeah.
What's the other
And
question?
Prabhuji, my second question was that when so you know how they say like Kalki is gonna come when there's the end of the world. So does that mean it's beginning of Brahma's night?
Okay, park that question as well. No, and I'll answer all that before 9 o'clock. No,
Prabhuji.
Kalki doesn't come before the end of the world. Kalki comes at the end of Kali Yuga. Just remember that technical difference. But when is the end of Kali Yuga, we'll find out. So, but if I forget to answer that question, ask me again, Vedi. Yeah, Yatin?
I have two questions. First, what verse are we on?
I have said it 10 times now. How many more times do you want me to say,
Yeah,
Yatin?
we're on 10.
You are playing games with me. I know that. You are just playing games with me. Come on, be serious now.
Prabhuji, I'm asking questions. How do we have night?
How do we have night is because because the earth rotates, Yatin. And I'll answer that question later because you are okay, not off topic. It's
And
a
then
fair
we don't
question.
face the sun anymore and it all turns dark.
There you ask Google Maharaj. No, watch a video of how the earth rotates and the sun is not coming and it becomes night.
Prabhuji,
Okay. Okay, let's go serious. I think Yatin is just trying to crack a joke, which is fine. Sometimes we need some jokes to waken us up, yeah? But a lot of other jokes later. Okay, let's go to text number 29. So what is happening here? We are in the Brahma's night. Everything is sleeping now, just as we sleep in the night. Text number 29, which is Yatin, yourself only.
okay, 29. Okay, I'm all ready. Just I need to flip the page. When
You are too cheeky today. You are too cheeky. Lucky I can tolerate you today. Yes, Yatin.
when the night of Brahma ensues, all the three worlds are out of sight, and the sun and the moon are without glare, just as in the due course of an ordinary night.
Okay, so how many of you are finding Yatin irritating? I'm not actually. I like
He's
people who
funny.
I like people who
He
are
makes
funny.
everyone smile.
I know. That's why I was asking how many of you are finding
He's
him annoying.
so
I
funny
don't
for
because
jokes.
I like people who are humorous and funny and all that. I like them actually because I think I myself are like that. I like to be funny. So when Yatin is trying to be funny, it's funny actually. But then don't be funny every time so that others are distracted. Yeah, we have to be funny to the point of not distracting others. Yeah.
Prabhuji, I have a
Yes.
question.
Yes, Yatin. You're on it.
What are two treasurenus called?
How? What is?
What are two treasurenus called?
Two Thrasharenus are called. Actually, it's there in the Bhagavatam, but I don't know it often.
I think it's around text
Is
14.
it only like 6
Yeah,
and
you can read it off yourself. Don't try
Isn't
to
it a
remember.
hexaton? Hexaton.
Yeah, maybe. No, hexaton itself will be Thrasharen. Anyway, I don't know the answer. It will be there, but I don't know the answer. I can't remember all that.
Oh yeah.
Okay, let's go text number. So what is happening in text number 20? You guys have to allow me to go faster as well, yeah? So 29, what is happening when the night of Brahma ensues, matlab the night has come now, the three worlds are out of sight. Three worlds means upper, middle, and lower planetary systems are out of sight, and the sun and the moon are without glare. Matlab the lights are turned off. Just as in the night, we turn our lights off. Similarly, Brahma has turned the light off, which is the sun and the moon. Then what happens? Text number 30. Vedi, pay attention because your answer is about to come. You are reading Vedi actually, text number 30.
Yes, Prabhuji. Um, the devastation takes place due to the fire emanating from the mouth of Sankarsana, and thus the great sages like Brigu and other inhabitants of Mahaloka transport themselves to Janaloka, being distressed by the warmth of the blazing fire which races through the three worlds below.
Okay, so pay attention to this, because if you don't, then you will not enjoy the remaining chapters coming up. Yeah. So, Ane, why is your video kind of very, very smudgy? It's so smudgy that I can barely see you. Or you've got the background effect, but then you are too far away from your camera. Yeah. So if this is the material world, which we know is like a egg shape, yeah. So then this is the lower planetary system, this is the middle planetary system, and this is the upper planetary system. We know this. And there are 14 planets in the earth, in the universe. And this is only one universe. How many universes are there in the material creation?
14.
14.
14.
Ronit says 14. Any other answer?
Unlimited universes.
Unlimited universes. How come you don't know this? Or maybe you know this, but you've just made a slight error in thinking. Yeah. So in one universe, there are 14 planets.
Oh,
Lava.
Prabhuji, I thought you meant like the planets.
Yeah,
Like,
that's fine. Yeah, that's why you have to listen to the question carefully, Ronit. Like what Ane did. So there is one planet, one material world. There is 14 planets. There is lava. There is middle. There is higher. And then this is just one. And there are unlimited universes in the material creation. What is happening now at the end? And pay attention to this, because this is critical. What is happening now is at the end of Brahma's night, Maitreya Muni is saying that the inhabitants of Janaloka, Janaya, have moved to Mahaloka. Why? I'll explain to you, because Prabhupada explained in his purport and elsewhere as well. It might not come in the translations. Just note this, that there are two types of annihilations. One is called partial annihilation. This is all coming in your quiz for 3 marks. One is called partial annihilation. The other one is called full annihilation. What is the difference between partial annihilation and full annihilation? In the partial annihilation, what happens is that of the 14 planets, all the planets come under the water. It is flooded, which is called delusion. It's all flooded except for 4 planets. And what are those 4 planets? As we know from these verses, it is Mahaloka. What did it say? Janaloka, Mahaloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, and Satyaloka. I'll explain to you that as well. So 4 planets remain. I'll have to correct myself a little later, because I'm not 100% sure whether it's 4 or 3, and let me explain to you why.
is it the higher planetary system?
It is the top 4 higher planetary systems. So what happens? Just hold on your questions. Lord Sankarshan, who is holding the whole planetary systems on his hoods, where Garbhodaksha Vishnu is sleeping. We know each planet is at the Garbhodaksha Vishnu is supporting it. He emanates fire from his mouth. The fire is so strong that it creates a combination of fire and water. How? Park that for now. And everything becomes uninhabitable. In other words, we cannot live on these planets. It's so hot and so flooded after that. So hold your questions, Ronit. Hold your questions. So then what happens? Everything is kind of a place where we cannot live anymore, except for the 3 topmost planets. What are the 3 topmost planets? I want you to remember that. They are called, in simple terms, you can remember JTS. JTS. Remember this acronym, JTS. J for Janaloka, T for Tapaloka, and S for Satyaloka. Yeah, so JTS. Now the planet before JTS, which is the 4th one, which is the Mahaloka, as Maitreya is saying here, is that planet also annihilated, or it remains, but it is just too hot to live there? I don't know the answer to that question. I had this question during my Bhakti Vaibhav days. Could not find a satisfactory answer, but doesn't matter whether the Janaloka, whether the Mahaloka is existing or it is also annihilated. Don't worry too much about that. But what you need to remember and worry is that the 3 topmost planets, which is JTS, Janaloka, Tapaloka, and Satyaloka, they remain, and their people continue to live. So of the 14 planets, minus 3, which is what, 11, right? Let's say the 11 become, not let's say, 11 becomes a place, 11 planets are the place where we cannot live anymore. Only the top 3 remains. So what is the difference between partial and full annihilation? In the partial annihilation, the 11 planets becomes uninhabitable. We cannot live there. People move who are eligible to, whoever has got the merit and the eligibility, they move and continue to live on the 3 top planetary system in the night of Brahma. What happens on the second day of Brahma? All 14 planetary systems are again populated by the living entities. That's the second day of Brahma. Then in the second night of Brahma, 11 planets will again become places where people cannot live. Everybody who is eligible to will go up to the 3 planetary systems of JTS. Now, various question was what? It's kind of a question that you can self-answer. Various question was, does it mean that nobody exists to live in the night of Brahma? You immediately know the answer is no. Why? Who can think? Various question, does
Because all the Bhrigu and everyone goes to Jala.
even if you didn't know the Bhirgu's existence and all that, listen to the question. See if somebody can read my mind the answer that I want to hear. Is it that in the night of Brahma, every living entity ceases to exist? If that's the question, how will you answer it? Yes or no, and why?
Brahma will still exist, Prabhuji.
Who answered that? Ane.
Ane.
So the answer is in the question. Because not everybody can cease to exist, because at least Brahma will live, at least. Because he's night here, Baba. He's got to live 364 days multiplied by another 100 years. So see, Ane has read my mind. Very good. I'm starting to gel very easily with Ane. You know, he catches my mind. I like that. So at least Brahma will live. But what we also now know, adding to Ane's answer, is in addition to Brahma, many other living entities will also exist to live. And where will they live? They will live on JTS, on Janaloka, Tapaloka, and Swargaloka, and Satyaloka. Are we on the same page now? Anybody is unclear on the point that I have just made? Don't ask me any questions for now. Just tell me whether you've understood what I have said, and I'm happy to repeat it.
Prabhuji, I can understand what you say because there are only 11 planets. I mean, there's only 10 planets that is burnt altogether.
Very
And
good.
then there's 4 planets that is still remaining in the
Very good.
partial inhalation.
Very good. Very good. No? Has anybody not understood the way Tanvik has understood? Because I'm going to ask you later on as well. So I want you to understand it. Yes?
How many planets are there?
14
Okay.
in one universe. And by the way, all this is happening when we are talking about partial annihilation in one universe only, not in the other universes. We are not even worried about that for now. We are only talking about partial annihilation in one universe. How many universes are there, Ronit?
Prabhuji had another question.
How many universes are there? I asked you, Ronit.
14? No, unlimited.
No, very good. Very good. See, my question hasn't changed, but your answer has changed. Thanks to Ane. So there is unlimited universes. We are only talking, guys, about one universe, and that too about the 14 planets. 11 are annihilated, 3 remains, JTS remains. That's where people live in the night of Brahma. And this thing happens again and again in the day and night of Brahma until now listen to this part, until Brahma is 100 years old. What happens when Brahma is 100 years old? Everything is annihilated. The entire universe is annihilated, and everything retracts in the body of Lord Karnodaksa Vishu, which is called Sushupti. Okay, now your questions.
Oh, so Prabhuji, when Brahma turns into 100, so then the whole entire material world gets destroyed.
Correct.
How
Correct.
many years left?
How many years left for Brahmas to be left? Maitri Muni will answer that question. Anything else?
Prabhuji,
Anay, yeah, Anay.
So
Yes.
if when our Brahma gets 100 years old, then why does everything in the whole innumerable universes be annihilated? Why not just our universe?
I was about to say that when I was explaining that after 100 years, that when the full annihilation happens, the entire 14 planets get annihilated. Does it also mean that the other universes will also annihilated? When I said it, then the question came to my mind as well, which is exactly what Anna is asking. And I started thinking whether
Annihilation.
whether it's all the universes or just one. I'm not clear on the answer, Anna. It's a very good question. It came in my mind as it wasn't coming in your mind simultaneously. I don't know the answer. Let me think about it. I'll check today and I'll answer you next week. Is it just one universe that's fully annihilated, or is it the entire universe? My thinking it's the entire universe, but I'm not 100% sure. So park that question. Yes, anybody else? Good thinking, Anna.
Prabhuji,
Yes,
Brahmas and
one universe.
yes, Ronit.
Prabhuji, my question is that isn't there also something that if Vishnu breathes in, then all the universes are destroyed, and if he breathes out, then new universes are created?
That is exactly the point. So, the point is that when full annihilation happens, Vishnu breathes in and everything is annihilated. And Vishnu breathes out, everything is expanded again. But is it just one universe or entire universe? I continue to believe it's entire universe, but I could be wrong. I just said don't raise your virtual hand, Rudransh. Just raise your hand so then I can ask you. Yes, Rudransh? Don't put the virtual hand up. Yeah, just put your physical hand up if you've got to ask me something. Dhruv?
If Vishnu created Brahma,
Yeah.
who created Vishnu?
Vishnu is self-manifested. So Vishnu creates Vishnu. It's called self-manifestation. He is the Sarva Karana Karanam. So he's self-manifested. So his creator is Vishnu. Vishnu's creator is Vishnu. Yeah. That is the ultimate creator. Okay, I'll park your questions for now because I want to finish the chapter. Otherwise, you will tell and your parents will tell me that Madhavananda is stuck with time. He's not able to finish this chapter. So let me finish this chapter. I will read verses now. Okay, mute yourself. I want to finish this chapter today. Promise you. So what was here? I'll read this again. So pay attention to 30. Yeah, I'll read this. The devastation that takes place due to the fire emanating from the mouth of Sankarshan. So partial annihilation is through fire. And thus the great sages like Bhrigu and other inhabitants of Mahaloka, which is the fourth topmost planet, transport themselves. They take Uber or Qantas or whatever would be there. I don't know. No, that's just a joke. There is no Uber there. No, they just transport themselves to Janaloka, being distressed by the warmth. So the quiz question will be, why do the other planetary systems inhabitants move up? And the answer will be what? Because there is too much of warmth. There is too much of heat. Where's the heat coming from? From the fire that is emanating from the mouth of Sankarshan. And blazing fire which rages through the three walls below. So three walls below is too hot. They move up. Just as, if there is a bushfire, people move away from the bush because it's just too hot to live. Text number 31. I'll read this so that in the interest of time, I want to finish the chapter. At the beginning of the devastation, all the seas overflow and hurricanes winds blow violently. Thus, the waves of the seas become ferocious, and in no time, all the three walls are full of water. So initially, there was too much heat coming from Lord Sankarshan's mouth. Everybody moved up to the three most planetary systems, which is JTS. After that, what happens? The planets below, the 11 of them, they get overflooded with water and hurricane and all that thing. You can't live there. It's like a tsunami has struck. Text number, hold on. Text number 32. Let me just cover some verses. 32.
Like the planet is flooded by boiling water.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like it. Could be boiling water. I don't know the answer, whether it's cold or boiling. Yes.
Prabhuji,
Yes.
the fire of him. So how can we not see it?
How do we know? Because at the moment there is no annihilation. No, it's day of Brahma. It is a
is
day
it
of Brahma. At the moment it is day of Brahma. It's not night. This happens in the night of Brahma when you and I will not exist. We will be annihilated. That's why we don't see it. Okay, text number, where am I? Text number 32. The Supreme Personality of Godhead lies down in the water of the seat of Ananta. Raise your hand. I want to ask you so many questions. You want to ask me so many questions. And how do I finish this chapter? Oh my goodness. The Supreme Personality of Godhead lies in the water on the seat of Ananta. Who is this person? Raise your hand. Who is this person who is lying in the water in the seat of Ananta? Who is this person?
Narayan
Huh?
Mahavishnu.
and
Garbhodakshay Vishnu.
Garbhodaksha Vishnu. So you can reduce all that by saying, Garbhodaksha Vishnu, with his eyes closed, and the inhabitants of Janaloka planets offer unto the Lord their glorious prayers with the folded hands. So the people of Janaloka, And this is Janaloka, Tapa, and Satya, right? So 3 are remaining. The people of Janaloka at this point in time, in the night of Brahma, when every other 11 planets are devastated, are paying prayers to Garbhodaksha Vishnu. Text number 33. Thus, the process of exhaustion of the duration of the life exists for everyone on the living beings, including Lord Brahma. One's life endures only for 100 years in terms of times in the different planets. So Maitreya Muni is saying that Brahma also lives for 100 years, but his 100 years is very long, but he also goes through his day and night. The big difference is that in his night, a lot of annihilation happens in the 11 planets below. But Brahma survives the night, Brahma survives the second day, Brahma survives the second night, so on and so forth until it is 100 years. At that point in time, Brahma is also annihilated. Okay. Okay, text. I'll read one more. No, actually, I can take questions now. Where are we? Text number 33, I'm supposed to read, right? No, 33 I have read. Let me read some more. Then I'll take your questions at the back end. 34. The 100 years of Brahma, this is answering Yatin's question about, is Brahma sleeping for too long? The 100 years of, and whether your questions may be getting answered as we are reading, but still I'll ask you then. The 100 years of Brahma's life are divided into 2 parts. How many years will be the first part if Brahma's life is divided into 2 parts?
50.
50. Very good, because he's also living for 100 years. You're going to all pass the quiz with flying colors. Brahma's life is divided into 50 and 50, just as you and my life can also be divided into 50-50. The first and the second half. The first half of the duration of Brahma's life is already over. And the second half is now current. Somebody had asked the question, how old is Brahma? Now you tell me. Raise your hand. Don't unmute. Raise your hand. I'll read this and you raise your hand and tell me how old is Brahma today. I'll read this. Raise your hand. Don't unmute. With the 100 years, text number 34. The 100 years of Brahma's life are divided into 2 parts, 50 and 50. The first half and the second half. The first half of duration of Brahma's life is already over. And the second half is now current. How old is Brahma? Avyuk.
50.
One answer 50. Any other answer? Anay.
50.
50. Ronit.
70.
Prabhuji,
Ronit 70. Why do you say 70?
You can just unmute.
Half already begun in Dwapara,
Prabhuji,
right?
51.
51. Ronit. I thought you said 70. Ronit. 70 or 51?
I didn't say 51.
Okay. So you said 70. Who said 51?
Prabhuji, I said 51.
Who's I? Can you take your name?
I'm Nabab.
Okay, Nabab, because I have to move around. So Nabab says 51. Why do you say 51, Nabab?
Like half of Brahma's life is finished.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay.
And
Who
then
else?
the next half starts.
Nitai?
60.
60. Why do you say 60, Nitai?
Because I think 10 years plus the 1/2 is done.
Okay, 10 plus 1/2 is done 60. Yeah, where did you get the 10 years though from? Anyway, keep going. Any other answer from the answers that we have already? Yes, Saisha?
I think it's 78.
Where are you all getting your own numbers from? Krishna. Okay, I'll tell you what I think.
Prabhuji,
Wait.
these are open-ended questions you're telling us.
Okay, open-ended. No, it was not open-ended at all. Maitreya Muni is saying the
Then
100 of.
If it's
Okay.
finished, it's remaining. It's 50 years only.
Okay.
As in the birth.
Maitreya Muni is saying the 100 years of Brahma's life are divided into 2 parts, the first and the second half. The first half of Brahma's duration is already over, and the second half is now current. So actually Brahma's age, based on what Maitreya Muni is saying, can be anywhere between 51 to 100. Because all Maitreya Muni is saying that it is between, the second half is in current. He didn't say second half is begun. Even if he had said second half is begun, it could be anywhere between 51, 52, 53. If he had said that it has just begun, then that will be 51. But he says second half is in current. So Brahma can be anywhere between 51 to 100 years. But Prabhupada tells us from elsewhere that Brahma is 51 years old. But Maitreya Muni doesn't say that. From what Maitreya Muni is saying, we don't know. From what Prabhupada tells us, then we know it is just begun. So just remember that our Brahma is roughly 50 years old, roughly. Yeah, thereabouts. Okay, next verse 30. And by the way, Brahma's first half and second half, your quiz question. Brahma's first half, Brahma's two halves are called Parardha. Parardha. No, remember that Sanskrit word. Hopefully I'm pronouncing it correctly. Parardha. So means Adha in Hindi means Adha we say. Na? Some of you who know Hindi. Adha means half. So this is Praradha. So half and half. Two halves are. So how many raise your hand, Balram. Okay, I'll ask Balram. How many Praradhas are there in Brahma's life? Dhruv, how many Praradhas are there in Brahma's life?
2.
Two. Who else is there? Pratham, how many Praradhas are there in Brahma's life? 2. Yeah, very easy because half and half, yeah, very simple, right? So 2 Praradhas. Next read text number 35. I will get there. I've got 7 verses to go. In the beginning of the first half of Brahma's life, where are we now? In the beginning of the first half of Brahma's life. Matlab, we are in the first Praradha at the beginning. There is a millennium called Brahma Kalpa. So what is Brahma Kalpa? Brahma Kalpa, quiz question again, when the quiz exam happens. Brahma Kalpa is the first day of Brahma. The first day of Brahma is called Brahma Kalpa. Kalpa means day, Brahma means the first. So the first day of Brahma Kalpa, of Brahma's life is called Brahma Kalpa. Wherein the Lord Brahma appeared. The birth of the Vedas are simultaneous with Brahma's birth. That's when the Vedas also got created. So Brahma lives for 100 years, which can be divided into 2 Praradas, 50 and 50. Brahma is roughly 51 years old. The first day of Brahma is called Brahma Kalpa. Then this one, the millennium which followed the first Brahma millennium. Anay, which day is this now? The Kalpa which followed the first Brahma millennium. How old is Brahma today? Anay, by this race.
Today, right now, or in
No.
the
In terms of, in that context, when Maitreya Muni says the millennium means Kalpa, the Kalpa which followed the Brahma Kalpa, which day
Even
will be that?
like
How?
1 day old, because
One?
it was when Lord Brahma appeared.
Yeah. So he will be in his second day, correct?
Now he'll be, yeah, once that day finishes, he'll be in his second day.
Yeah. So now we are talking about the second day of Brahma. You were 1 day old and 2 day old at one point in time. You have forgotten. We all were 2 days old. So the millennium which followed the first Brahma millennium is known as Padma Kalpa. So Padma Kalpa, or Padma Kalpa sometimes we say, is the second day of Brahma. First day of Brahma is called Brahma Kalpa. Second day of Brahma is called Padma Kalpa. Because in that millennium, the universal lotus flower grew out of the navel reservoir of Lord Hari. First day of Brahma is Brahma Kalpa. Second day of Brahma is Padma Kalpa. Text number 37. Our descendant of Bharata. Who is descendant of Bharata?
Vidura.
Very good. Oh, Vidura. Very good, Tanvik. Oh, Vidura. The first millennium. In the second half of life of Brahma. Raise your hand now. Don't unmute. I'll get upset. Raise your hand now. The first millennium, matlab the first kalpa. Don't raise your hand because I've not even asked the question yet, Tanvik. Raise your hand if you know the answer. The first millennium, matlab the kalpa of Brahma in the second half of the life of Brahma. How old Brahma will be when it is the first millennium in the second half of life of Brahma? How old Brahma will be at that point, at this point in time then? How come no hands are raised? Question is not clear. What is Maitreya Muni saying is, which point in time is Brahma when Maitreya Muni says this? Our descendant of Bharata. Don't unmute, I said. I don't say don't unmute. I just said raise your hand. The first millennium in the second half of life of Brahma. How old will Brahma be at that point in time? Anay. Unmute, Anay.
50 years old.
50 years old, yeah?
Because
Ronit,
because-
no explanation, just answer for now. Ronit,
I also say 50, Prabhuji.
50, yeah? Anusha,
50, Prabhuji.
50. Anybody has got any other answer? Yatin?
Oh, do you think so? 51?
51. Yeah. Okay. To me, the answer will be Brahma has just become 50, and it is and I think Yatin's point of 1 is valid, except for Yatin has said 51. 1 will be another whole day and night has passed. 51 will be another 365 days have passed. That will be his 151 years. But here what has happened? Brahma's 50 years have passed and he has just literally 10 into the next day. So he's 50, correct? Plus 1 day. Yeah. This is what we are talking about. 50 plus 1 day to be technically correct. So our descendant of our Vidura, the first millennium in the second half of life of Brahma is also known as Varha millennium. Because the personality of God had appeared in that millennium as the Hog incarnation. So 3 kalpas have been named: Brahma Kalpa, Padma Kalpa, and Varha Kalpa. Brahma Kalpa is the first day of Brahma, Padma Kalpa is the second day of Brahma, and Varha Kalpa is the first day of Brahma after he has turned 50. Remember these 3. Text number 38. The duration of the 2 parts of Brahma's life. Anusha, Avedi, the duration of the 2 parts of Brahma's life. If the 2 parts of Brahma's life are put together, how old will Brahma be?
Can I
Vedi.
have question?
Whoever has to leave can just leave without saying anything. Yeah, just unmute and go. Yeah, Vedi, the 2 parts of Brahma's life, how old will Brahma be at that point in time? When the 2 parts are to put together.
There would be 2 kalpas.
No, Anusha,
100 years.
100 years. Because Brahma's life is 2 parts. Well, 2
Right.
prarabdhas, remember? So
Yeah.
2 parts together will become 100 years. The duration of the 2 parts of Brahma's life, as above mentioned, is calculated to be equal to 1 nimesha, less than 1 second. What is nimesha? Less than 1 second of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is unchanging and unlimited and is the cause of all causes of the universe. What is Brahma saying here now? Is that all these big times that we have spoken about, which is trillions and trillions of years, is equal to 1 nanosecond when you compare to the life of Vishnu. Yatin's question, does Brahma sleep too much? And I was saying it's all relative. Brahma's big life is nothing but a nanosecond, like a blink of an eye in the life of Lord Vishnu. How long does Lord Vishnu live?
Inhaling is the one that destroys all the universes.
Correct. How long does Vishnu live?
Forever.
Infinite.
Forever. So then how can Brahma say that, how can Maitreya say that Brahma's life is 1 second of Vishnu when Vishnu lives forever? The point he is making that Vishnu's life is unlimited, but if you were to put a percentage comparison, then Brahma's life is nothing. This is the word you have to remember, nimesha and or nothing. Brahma's life span is nothing in front of Lord Vishnu, just as your and my life span is nothing in front of Lord Brahma. No, we live for 100 years. Brahma lives for trillions of years. So our life is nothing in front of Brahma. Similarly, Brahma's life cycle is nothing in front of Lord Vishnu. Do you understand the point I'm making? Yeah. Okay. Next verse. 39.
Guruji, I had a question.
I'll park your question. I want to finish these 4 verses, then I'll take multiple questions. Yeah, I'll take all the questions. 39. Eternal time is certainly in the controller of different dimensions, from the death of the atom up to the super divisions of the duration Brahma's life. But nevertheless, it is controlled by the Supreme. Time can control only those who are body conscious, even up to Satya Loga or Ada Hada planetary systems. Text number 40. This phenomenal material world is expanded to a diameter of 4 billion miles. Brahma comes to the dimension of the material world as a combination of 8 material elements transformed into 16 feather categories within and without as follows. What are the 8 and 16? We'll discuss that another day. Text number 41. The layers of elements covering the universes are each 10 times thicker than one another, and all the universes clustered together appear like atoms in a huge combination. 42, last verse. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Sri Krishna is therefore said to be the original cause of all causes. Thus, the spiritual abode of Vishnu is eternal without a doubt. Why does Brahma say that the supreme abode of Vishnu is eternal without doubt? Why does he say that? Why do you think he says that? Because Anusha, unmute. Why does he say that Vishnu's abode is eternal? Because why would he make that?
Because he is eternal.
Yeah, but why make the point though? What he's saying we understand, but why is he saying? What's the context? Think outside the box. Maitreya Muni has been talking about who? Brahma. And what did he say about Brahma? 100 years, 100 years, 100 years, 100 years. Inhalation. All of a sudden he brings in Vishnu to say Vishnu lives forever, his abode is forever. Why? To make to what point is he making? Yes, Avivik?
Is he comparing Brahma's life with Vishnu's?
Yeah, exactly. He's saying, wait, we've been talking about Brahma, and I want to make one point, Maitreya, saying that don't get confused that Vishnu's lifespan cannot be calculated, and neither Vishnu's abode gets annihilated. Vishnu is another personality altogether. Vishnu or Krishna is another dimension altogether. We are all talking about material time and material creation. There, Vishnu's life and Vishnu's abode is eternal. You cannot compare the two. It's only 1 nanosecond. If you want to compare, that's the maximum. Plus, it's not even comparable because one is material, the other one is spiritual. So I'll quickly do a recap for 1 minute, and then I'll take as many questions as you want. I have got all the time, but those who might have to drop off in 2 minutes, feel free to drop off. So what we have discussed today is that Brahma's one day, we started from there, which is 1 Chaturyuga multiplied by 1000. Brahma's one night is 1 Chaturyuga multiplied by 1000. So that becomes his 1 day and 1 night. You multiply that by 365, that becomes Brahma's 1 year. You multiply that by 100, it becomes Brahma's life. Brahma's first day is called Brahma Kalpa. Brahma's second day is called Padma Kalpa. Brahma's first day, when he turns 50, after that, it is called Varaha Kalpa.
Prabhuji,
Yes.
there's also another Varaha Kalpa in the first 30 days of Brahma.
That, yeah, we'll discuss that when when we talk about Lord Varaha's pastimes very soon. We'll discuss that. Then Brahma's 2 halves, Brahma lives for 2 halves, 50 and 50. They are called Praradas. 2 Praradas put together become 100. Brahma at the moment is roughly 50 years, as Prabhupada, 51 years, as Prabhupada explains in his purport. Brahma lives for 100 years. When in every night of Brahma, what happens? It becomes too hot in the 11 planetary systems. Why? Because Lord Sankarshan is emanating fire. And what happens? Some of the inhabitants, some of the living entities die and go back to, wherever in hibernation stage. The others who are qualified and have got the merit, they move to Jana Loka or Tapa Loka or Satya Loka, JTS, and they live there until Brahma's night is over. When Brahma's night is over, the second day starts, the whole recreation happens again. Then all the 11 planetary systems gets populated again. And this happens for every day, every night of Brahma until 100 years of Brahma's life, when the entire universe is annihilated, and then everything is recreated after the hibernation period. Now you can bombard me with as many questions as you want. I may not be able to answer it, but I'll just happy to take questions now. But before I take Ganesh questions, Vedi, which of your questions remain unanswered at the moment?
All of them are answered.
Aha, Jai Ho. All glories to Vedi. See, I told you, hold your horse, Maitreya will answer. Next.
I thought she was about
Hang
to
on.
say all of them were unanswered.
Okay. Anybody else who had asked me the question which I say Maitreya will answer, has your questions being answered before we take incremental questions? Anybody's question remains unanswered that you had asked me before? Then raise your hand. Yes, Ronit.
Am I allowed to leave because I have a class?
Yes, just leave. Next time, just leave, Ron. Like just wave like this and then leave, because otherwise it stops everybody else rhythm. Yeah. Yes, Rudransh.
Prabhuji, like you said, when there was 3 lokas, but one time in one of the my Bhagavatam tales book, it says there was Gandhavara loka.
What loka?
A Gandhavara loka.
Yeah, Gandharva loka is on one of the 14 planetary systems. There is Gandharva as well. 3 are the ones that remains after the annihilation, but otherwise there is 14, Rudransh. Next question. Nitai.
Prabhuji,
Nitai.
Prabhuji,
Yes, Nitai.
after everything gets destroyed, does it come back instantly?
Not instantly. There is a hibernation period. There's a long hibernation period. It's no different from when we take birth, when we die, and when we take birth again. Let's say if we come back as human beings, then we will be in 9 months, we will be in the womb of our mother. So it takes 9 months for us to come out of the womb of the mother. So for us, there is 9 months. For the material world, there is also another time period, which is called, which is billions of years. I can't remember the exact number, but it is called the incubation period.
So when Vishnu breathes out in material philosophy, is it called the Big Bang?
Not really. Big Bang is a bogus theory. Vishnu creates in another way completely, not in nothing like Big Bang. When Big Bang happens, all of us will die. Nothing will get created because when you blast the bomb, nothing good will come out of it. Only bad will come out of it. So don't believe in the Big Bang theory. Study it to refute it. But
Prabhuji,
it's bogus. Yeah. Yes. Ane.
James,
Ane.
there was 2 questions. Prabhuji, did you know that the James Webb Telescope proved the Big Bang Theory wrong?
Yeah. Oh, there are so many theories out there that counters Big Bang theory. But
Yeah.
we don't have. But we don't have to be as devotees. Don't worry about defeating Big Bang theories. Worry about accepting Brahma's theory, and do devotional service. Prabhupada said, don't waste your time too much about, unless you want to become a scientist in the future. That's another ball game. But for most of us, just focus on bhakti rather than whether Big Bang theory is true or false. Yes, Ane, another question.
So, Prabhuji, didn't Maitreya Muni live for 7 kalpas?
Maitreya Muni, how lived I don't know the answer to that question, Ane. It will come very soon, but I don't know the answer. Next one. Any other unanswered questions? Pratham, you are very quiet today. Yes, Dhruv?
Prabhuji.
See the
Dhruv, yeah.
see the Maha
Mahaloka.
yeah. Does it still exist or is it vanquished?
Because it's the day of Brahma at the moment, every planet exists. All 14 planetary systems are existing. Next, Ane? Or are you stretching?
No. Prabhuji, I asked you a question and then you said that the same question popped into your head and then you tell me next week. I forgot the question.
The question was, at the full annihilation, does only one material universe get annihilated or the entire material universe get annihilated? Yeah. And
So-
I believe it's entire, but I'm not sure.
I don't think it's entire because it's only one Brahma whose life is over. Like there's so many Brahmas.
Yeah. I don't know the answer, Ane. I'll have to think. I thought I know the answer, but I don't know. But now I
That's
think that I don't know.
is
Let's find it out. Ask your dad.
Prabhuji,
Yes, Pratham?
I have a question.
Yes, Pratham. You've been very quiet today. Yes.
How long did Brahma meditate on Vishnu?
How long? We saw that earlier 2 chapters ago, but if you ask me exact numbers, I'm always poor with that. But we saw that 2-3 chapters ago when it was mentioned that Brahma meditated on Lord Vishnu. Whether it was for long time or it was for certain kalpa, I don't know. But it's there in Bhagavatam, maybe just 5 chapters ago when Brahma was created. So go back, do some research, and you'll find your answer, Pratham. But I don't know often. Anybody else? Vedi? What were your questions? And you said it's fully satisfied now? Maitreya Muni has satisfied you?
Yeah, it's
Okay, let's park it here then. It's good timing. Most of us have to go. Granth Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. But if you want to stay
Thank
back,
you, Prabhuji, for the wonderful class.
Hare
thank
Krishna.
you.
Prabhu.
But for those who, if
Prabhuji.
you want to stay back, feel free to stay back for chit chat. No, those who have to go can go. But if you want to have some fun, stay back.
Prabhuji.
Yes.
Prabhuji.
I'm staying back. I'm staying.
Yes.
Do you know my dad got this pen from Sydney?
From Sydney. Your dad went to Sydney.
Yeah, and he came back.
Jai. No, nice pen. Use it to write Krishna conscious essay.
Yes,
Okay.
I wrote a Krishna conscious essay.
Okay. Anybody wants to tell you a story or something, whatever you want to do? I'm free now. I've got 10 minutes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Oh,
Not many left. We only got 3 of us. Mataji, if you have to go, you feel free to go as well. Or feel free to stay back, whatever works.
Prabhuji.
Yes, Balram. Yes, Tanvik.
Prabhuji, do you know when I got this sheep when I was used to hit my Bhagavatam without reading, I used to flip through the pages like this.
Yeah.
And look through the pictures.
Yeah.
And it was
Okay.
my favorite instead of reading.
Okay. Nice. Balram, Balram has got a gift now, is it? A headphone. Oh, Balram is...
Not really, Prabhuji. It was with me from nearly. I got it about probably in 2022, but we didn't open it. We forgot about it.
Oh, Krishna.
And me and my sister found it.
Oh, Balram. I forgot to ask all of you whether we do the quiz in person or online. I was supposed to take a vote,
Prabhuji, in person.
but not many people come in person, Balram.
Prabhuji, what time in person? Because
8 o'clock. Every
In
class is, yeah, 8 to 9, yeah.
I don't think so. Even Pratham could wake up early because he sleeps for 5 hours on Fridays.
I know, because,
Prabhuji, but my
yeah.
mom needs to go service at 2 o'clock, and then
Yeah,
I have a pick. I have class at 5 o'clock.
yeah,
Then my mom gets tired after the whole day in temple.
I know. And then you have to drive 3 times, yeah,
Yes.
no, it's hard what to do. Anyways, let's think whether we do online or in person.
Prabhuji, online or in person, both is okay.
Yeah.
But
We
what
only
is-
okay.
What does Zarna Mataji think? Let's see what Zarna Mataji thinks. Quiz will be better online or in person, Mataji?
Prabhuji, I think majority we should just go through.
Uh-huh.
I
We don't
wasn't.
have the majority. That's the problem. They left without voting, and I forgot to ask them.
Yeah, we can ask in the group. Usually, what I used to do previously was just send a list
Yeah.
of names, and they just tick if you want online or if you want this. So then it's
Okay. Okay. So then can I leave that with you to work it
yeah,
out?
I'll do
but
that. So this
also
is for next Saturday, right?
Yeah,
Coming
but also incidentally, next Saturday happens to be in-person session, right? It's the first Saturday of the month.
Yes, Prabhuji, that's right.
Next week is the quiz.
So maybe we just do it in
Okay.
person. Now, otherwise, we won't be able to do it in person for the whole month
So then we
again.
don't need to vote. Yeah, we'll just get
Yeah.
it to do in person.
We will just say
And I
that
think
next
Anusha and everybody really wanted anyways online. So yeah.
online
Oh,
or in
sorry,
person.
person to person. Yeah.
Yeah, because it happens to be our in-person session. Happens to be end of the chapter. Happens to be the time when I want to ask the quiz. Also
Yeah.
happens to be the time when we take a break for few weeks.
Right.
The school holidays and Gaurang Darshan Prabhu here. So then I think we meet in person.
We can do that. Yeah. Then there'll be a break anyway. So yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I'll do
Lock
that.
it.
No problem. So
Lock
Prabhuji,
it.
sorry, I wasn't a part of when you were reading. Can you just tell me where we end? So
End of the chapter. End of the
Okay,
chapter. Finish the chapter now.
Perfect. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay, chalo. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Okay, Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
jai.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, see you at the temple.
See you at the temple. Tanvik Balram. Avik.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.